us?
Yes, I can hear us. Okay. Hi, guys!
Hello!
It's a special episode of Let's Put On a Show with just Sabra.
And Lane.
And let's go break some legs. Or something. It's been a while and a really weird few weeks.
Yeah.
So, as our listeners may know, we did the 2018 Who Let Us Adult tour, in which we saw Moulin Rouge in Boston and then 7 shows in 5 days in New York. So we are here today to start off with Waitress.
Yeah.
Which, my reasons for seeing it were Catherine McPhee is amazing and I love her. And I watch way too much Madam Secretary, wow, to not see Eric Bergen in something. And he was Dr. Palmatter when we saw it. And
He's wonderful.
He is wonderful. He is the best bean. It's probably the picture we're going to use for the background for this one, is the selfie, because he took an amazing selfie with me. But anyway, so, Waitress. What's it about, Lane?
Oh my goodness. Oh, I get to do this part. So Waitress is the story of how do I describe Jenna?
She's a waitress.
Yeah, she's a waitress in a diner in ambiguously somewhere in the South, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's never explicitly stated, but it's sort of some small town in the U.S. in
the South.
In the South, essentially, and she makes pies.
She makes pies.
Yes.
And this is based on the film Waitress with Kerry Russell and Nathan Fillion.
Yes.
And it was adapted into a musical with music by Sarah Bareilles.
Yes.
Which,
oh,
who'd have thought? Jesus, that music. So the plot starts pretty, throws you into it with the song opening up, which is, her and her friends at the diner opening up the diner. And throughout the course of the first 15 minutes, it's revealed that she doesn't like her husband and accidentally got pregnant because she wasn't sleeping with her husband, and then they
makes
got
me
drunk.
do stupid things like sleep with my husband.
Yeah. And so it's revealed she's pregnant. And she doesn't want to tell her husband because he's abusive. I don't want to skirt around that. There's no way
around it.
There's no way to not say that. Earl, her husband, is abusive. And so she's like, well, shit. I don't want to have a kid, especially what if it comes out like Earl. But she goes to see her doctor, who it turns out has retired and has been replaced by this young, fresh-faced Dr. Palmatter.
Yep.
Who is played by Eric Bergen. Jenna is played by Catherine McPhee. And she had brought a pie for her doctor and, ends up still giving it to Dr. Palmatter, as a just kind of like, well, I guess
have this
we'll
pie.
try this.
Here you go, I guess.
And so he at first is like, I'm off sugar. And then, stage goes dark after they both leave, single spot on the pie. He, sneaks back in and starts eating it with his stethoscope.
Because he can't find anything else to eat it with.
Yeah, he rifles through all the drawers looking for something else to eat it with.
And then just looks at the stethoscope, takes it off, and just starts eating it. And it is wonderful.
It was my favorite gag. Well, there's a lot of favorite gags.
But that's up there.
Yeah. And so then after that whole thing, you get the song What Baking Can Do.
Yep.
Where she, goes into her happy place, which is creating pies.
Yeah.
And it's really cool song. Then it's Club Knocked Up, which is, her being like, oh shit, I gotta deal with this. She decides she doesn't want an abortion.
Yeah.
Which is openly addressed. But she doesn't want a celebration made out of her having a baby either. And then after that, we go back to the diner and we have a song with Dawn, who's one of the other waitresses, who is this tiny little anxious mess of a person, and I love her.
She's so relatable. I am having a minor anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Just through some trays of stuff, she just appears and just, I need help.
Yeah. And so she gets the song When He Sees Me, which is her wanting a man. But she's very nervous, very shy, has just created an online dating profile and gets a response, and is just like,
she's just nervous. She wants it, but she's scared that because she's not conventional, like she's not conventional at all, that what if whenever he comes to see her he doesn't like her.
And then like the last verse is like, what if when he sees me he likes me and he knows it, and like she's like afraid of someone actually liking her too. And like that's the real romance of the show, is Dawn and Ogie, played by Caitlin, I forget her last name, and then Christopher Fitzgerald was Ogie, who I adore him. He's a brilliant comedic actor. And so after that, we get a scene at the bus stop with Jim, Dr. Palmatter, and Jenna. And he finally is just like, what the heck do you put in your pies? Why are they so good? And she's just like, well, my mama taught me how to create them and like do all this. And then they sing, it only takes a taste to know when something's good. And then, you know, that's when they start kind of doing the flirty thing. And you're just like, okay. I see where this is going. And then after that, there's a scene with Jenna and Earl where he's like, you know, trying to get all sexy, and she's just like, no, and then he like turns violent. She's just like, I'm pregnant, to stop him from hitting her. And he then like breaks down and has a thing, and he's like, don't go loving that baby more than me. And Jenna's completely just like, oh shit. And so she makes the decision to start hiding money from Earl to save up to get away.
Yes.
To escape. And then we get Soft Place to Land.
Yep.
Which is just beautiful, and it's beautifully choreographed and just really illustrates the inside of Jenna. Like, most of this is like, there's a lot of scenes where it's just Jenna internal monologuing.
It'll just sort of, the scene is happening and then the lights change and then it's Jenna monologuing.
Yeah.
And yes.
And then after that we go back to the diner. And we find out that Dawn and Ogie's date went very, very well.
Yes.
And he is now in the diner, and she's, like, trying to avoid him because she's just like, oh, God, what do I do?
At all costs.
And he sings the song, You Ain't Never Getting Rid of Me, which is, like, the single most energetic number in this
entire show.
And, like, he's jumping all over and, like, singing this, and it's so funny. It is the light this show needs, because it deals with a lot of heavy, dark themes, too. And then after that one, we get Pretty Good Bad Idea.
Yep. Which
is where Jenna goes to see Dr. Palmatter early in the morning at one point, because he came in early just to see her. And, you know, they're both just like, this is a really bad idea. We shouldn't do this.
We shouldn't do the thing.
Just keep kissing me until we come to.
Yep.
And then it's just a montage of various visits with her bringing him pie and them having relations all over his office.
Yep.
And it's just very grounded and physical, but it's still just very honest.
Yes.
Like, that's the whole point of this show, is it might be a little bit heightened at some points, but it's honest.
Yes.
And then you get I Didn't Plan It, which I forget which one that one is.
That's the beginning of Act 2 when...
That's the beginning of Act 2 with the other waitress.
I hate that I'm forgetting her name.
Originally played by Kayla Settle, who I adore.
Yeah, because Jenna comes in like early or whatever after one of her liaisons with Dr. Palmatter and walks in on
her
said friend and
the owner of the diner.
Yep.
Or not the owner
of the
diner,
cook.
the cook. The owner of the diner is a grumpy old guy who comes back later.
Yeah. But so she, and then sort of makes a big deal out of it. And her friend's like, well, you're not
the only one with, you know, unplanned life.
And it's a great song.
Yeah. And then you get Bad Idea Reprise and You Matter to Me, which is my favorite love song that doesn't say I love you.
Yep.
And she gets the monologue of, you know, dear baby, I hope someday someone will just hold you for 20 minutes and not let go, not try to kiss you, not look at your face, just hold you. And Dr. Palmatter sings You Matter to Me. And it's just absolutely beautiful, and I'm hitting the table again.
It's okay.
And then there's the scene where we see, you know, her and Dr. Palmatter, Dawn and Ogie. And
yeah, that's Bad Idea Reprise.
That's Bad Idea Reprise. And so there's this cute little thing about Dawn is a Revolutionary War era reenactor.
Yep.
And she's played Betsy Ross in like 43 different things. And like she's not like, she's just like really resistant to Ogie, and then he says something about, well, I was Paul Revere in 43 different things.
And that's the moment.
And that's the moment she just has this like, my time has come facial expression. She's like,
so good.
Really? And then there's a scene where they just go like, during Bad Idea Reprise, you know, they're on one side of the stage, Jim and Jen are in the middle, and then the other two, I feel bad for not remembering
I hate forgetting their names.
Are on the other side, and like, you know, it looks to be just Dawn sitting in her chair making an American flag, because Betsy Ross, and then Ogie just tumbles out from under her skirts.
So good.
And like, I loved that. And then as the scene is changing and they're being slid off stage, like, he's pretending to be Washington rowing across the Delaware, and then as soon as they break sightline, it's, the British are coming! The British are coming!
I looked it up. It is Becky. Is her name, and then Cal is the name of the cook.
Becky and Cal.
Yep.
Okay.
Like, what are their names?
Yeah. So, and then in short order they get engaged.
Yep.
Dawn and
Ogie get engaged, and
they decide to have, thank you, windows.
Okay, so Dawn and Ogie have their wedding.
And he sings I Love You Like a Table, which sounds like a terribly ridiculous song, and it is.
But it's great.
It's great.
It's very Ogie. He's like,
yeah.
He suddenly starts to recite poetry for her, and it's sweet.
And she has a line at one point about, I never understood the Declaration of Independence until he recited it to me. And
they're just so cute, and I love them.
They are bae. And then also during the wedding, you have Take It From an Old Man, which is the owner of the diner, and Jenna, because Jenna's like the one waitress who's always been nice to him and stuff. And he sings, basically gives the, you know, do what you have to do to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
And then Earl comes in, having discovered
the money,
and like, she lies and says it was going to be for a new crib instead of running away to take part in this baking competition that would give her $20,000. Yep. And so then you get another Dear Baby, which is If I Ever Tell You the Story of How We Bought Your Crib, This Is It. And then she sings She Used to Be Mine, which is the 11 o'clock number of the show.
Yes.
Like, it's the song that everyone knows from this show, and I've heard it so many times, like, by so many different people, and every time I loved it. Like, this is a little sidetrack, personal attachment to the song. Like, I saw Betsy Wolfe sing it live at Benaroya Hall. I saw Kat McPhee sing it live. I've heard Sarah sing it. I didn't identify with the song until I heard Jeremy Jordan sing it at Miscast.
Yep.
But that's me and my queer little heart.
I also realized something about that song, is that the song that Earl sings to her in Act 1 is called You Will Still Be Mine.
Yeah.
And that song and She Used to Be Mine have similar musical notations in them, and is almost a direct response to that, which I did not notice until I saw the show.
Huh.
Like, it's very minor, but, like, if you listen to both, there are very small elements in that where it kind of almost feels like, in addition to everything else happening in that song, Jenna kind of reclaiming some of that a little bit. Like, there's about 1,000 things going on, so if you miss it, it's not a big deal, but...
And you can always listen to the soundtrack again.
Yes.
And then at the end of She Used to Be Mine, Jenna goes into labor. And then you get, you know, the scene where she meets Jim's wife. And, you know, she's in the hospital and has her baby, who she names Lulu.
Lulu.
And tells Earl she's going to leave him. And Earl, of course, is just like, no, can't, bad, I am strong man.
She's like, get out.
And she's like, get out. And, like, Jim is about to, like, start wailing on a bitch. And I love Eric Bergen simply for his physicality in that scene.
Yes.
Where he's trying so hard to be threatening, but also not declare that he and Jenna have a thing. Like, but in that scene, like, he could get away with it, you know, I'm the doctor here, like, GTFO, dude. And you get the song, and then, you know, they break up amicably. She's just like, we could draw this out, or we could end this right now with no bloodshed. And they agree to. It's sad. And then fast forward 5 years.
Pretty much, yeah. There's a
5-year-old Lulu.
Yeah.
The casting call when they're looking for local Lulus is like 4.5 to 6.
Yeah, it's like she's somewhere in that range.
And you find out that the owner left the diner to Jenna when he died. And she won that baking competition.
Yep.
And they, you know, make their bread and butter with pies and have the opening up, basically a reprise of the opening number, and like everyone's there, and it's a very uplifting ending. I love this show more than I thought I would.
Yes. It's just...
I am clumsy.
That's okay. It's just good. It has so many... I mean, the reason I like this show is just it has such an important message amongst all of this amazing music and all of the other, like, the humorous bits, the sad bits. It has a real, true story to it. And especially the fact that I'm using air quotes here, love story is not... There is a traditional love story between Dawn and Ogie, but it's even not a traditional love story. The love story to me is Jenna's self-love story, is her coming into her own as a person and doing what she has to do for herself and for her kid, and getting out of her situation. And that's the reason I think people should see this show, amongst all the many other things about it that are amazing.
Many other things, it's an amazing show, very powerful. And it will apparently be here in Seattle, September 11th through 16th. Yep. So if you're in Seattle, go see it. Otherwise, look up and see when it's touring to your city.
It's like it's on tour right now, so it will probably be in your area at some point soon.
Yeah. I'm actually like considering seeing it on tour because I want to see it again. But I actually have a few notes about this, and just the first of all is this is a Cinderella story, but Cinderella saves herself.
Yep.
And she is just amazing, and it's the quiet strength story, which, like, so many times when, you know, abuse is portrayed in media, people are just like, oh, well, why didn't she leave him? And this explains why.
Yep.
Oh, what I was gonna say. So one of the things, I watched the movie when it came out in 2007, because I did and still do have a huge crush on both Kerry Russell and Nathan Fillion. But the director, Adrian Shelley, was murdered.
Oh, that's right.
Like, it was, like, post-production, and she was murdered. If I remember the story correctly, it was, like, construction was happening in a nearby apartment, and she had filed a complaint about something. Like, I think they'd punched through a wall they shouldn't have or something. And then, like, 3 days later, she was found, they thought of suicide, but it turns out one of the construction workers had just straight up murdered her because she complained. And it's, like, it makes the message of the movie that much more important.
Yep.
And also the musical. And, I didn't expect to be as moved as I was by this story, because the film version, I watched it because Nathan Fillion was in it. Like, that's why I watched it. I was also very young, and I hadn't had a boyfriend at that point. Like,
yeah.
I had no concept of toxic relationships. And then coming back to it, you know, over a decade later, and being like, oh, is eye-opening. And, like, I've had a boyfriend since then. But it's very good story. And it's a powerful story, and for anyone who's ever had a toxic relationship, I feel like this will be a cathartic experience.
Yes.
Like, it is painful to watch at times, but it's not painful for no reason.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, and every punch to the gut is soothed over in the musical with a kiss to the forehead, metaphorically speaking. And it is just, go see this show, no matter who your cast is. This show is very powerful.
It's very powerful. It's very important for many reasons.
Yeah.
Please see it if you can.
Please see it if you can. I feel like we should talk about more.
I mean, the other big note that I have is, once again, about Dawn and Ogie and non-traditionally attractive couples and them being the quote-unquote like traditional love story of the show, and it being between two very not conventionally attractive and two very non-conventional people, and that being the like heterosexual love story of the show, so to speak. And I just think that's really important, and more things should do that.
Yes, they are the meet cute of the musical, whereas Jim and Jenna are very, we shouldn't be doing this and we know it, but I need something in my life that makes me happy. It's
not a love story. I don't know what it is, but
it's two lost people helping each other find each other.
I guess that's the way to think about it.
With some infidelity thrown in there, because hey, it's musical theater, no one cares.
Yeah. So yeah, things like that are important, and more media should take note of this and do that, because
it's never, and the infidelities are never like, oh, it's okay, they're in love. It's always just like, hey, you've got a husband, he's got a wife, like, and they both know, like, the song is called Bad Idea.
They're like, we shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't do this.
Yeah. But it's revealed at one point that Jim is there because his wife took a residency at the hospital, and he didn't want to be there, but he wanted to support his wife and this and that, and so he got a job. And he's, while not, he's supposed to be neurotic. Like, he says a line about you may not have noticed, but I'm kind of neurotic, and like I never got that in any of his scenes with Jenna.
Not really. He more just comes off as awkward to me. Like, no, I've seen bits of him played by various actors, but like he's kind of awkward and a little and out of place, but not. I didn't quite get the neurotic bit. He's just a little weird, and he kind of knows it, and he doesn't necessarily always know how to people.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to people for the first, like, 25 minutes of the show, and it's adorable. And I love Dr. Palmatter, and I haven't seen anyone else play the musical version of Dr. Palmatter except for, like, the promo videos with Drew Galen.
Yeah.
I assume that's how you say his name.
I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if we said that wrong.
If you're listening, please tell us how to say your name. And, but so Eric was my first Dr. Palmatter, and I really, really liked him. Like, I love him on Madam Secretary, and I loved him in Jersey Boys. And just, he has a groundedness while still being able to be a bit neurotic or high-strung.
Yes.
But he still brings a groundedness to the character, so he's not just flying away constantly. And that's not easy.
Oh, no.
But to reiterate, we're getting to the point where this is a wonderful story, a very important story. Everyone should see it. And this has been Let's Put On a Show. I'm Sabra.
I'm Lane.
And let's go break some legs. But not literally, because it's really hard to travel when you do.
We didn't rate that.
Oh, we didn't rate it. We'll edit this together.
Oops.
We're a hot mess.
I looked down at my notes and says, wait, I wrote ratings for this.
Okay, that's why it didn't feel complete. Okay.
I just have to remind you now that we have to rate things.
It's a thing. It's a day. Anyway, it's a sunny Seattle day.
It is.
And so rating, You obviously have some.
I have
You
ratings,
go first.
so I get to go first. So I have music/score. I have gets a 100 out of 10 / Sarah Bareilles is a queen, because the music in this show is just amazing. It's gorgeous and just makes my insides happy. And then the story or message of the show gets a hands up praise emoji, because very important. Yes, I'm rating things in emojis. That makes sense eventually.
If you see the show, it makes sense.
Yes.
So my ratings,
it can be whatever you want.
I know. The music has to be just solid, lightning emoji, heart emoji, high five or praying emoji, whichever one that is. Because it is, if you like any song you've ever heard by Sarah Bareilles, you will love the entire show.
It sounds like her music, but it doesn't sound like her music. It has her stamp on it.
But it tells a story.
Yes.
And then for story and history, I have to give, I'd have to go 10 out of 10. I can't hyperbolize this, just how important this story is.
Yes. And
everyone, regardless of age, gender, orientation, can benefit from knowing this story. So please, if you get the chance at all, go see the show, listen to the soundtrack, tweet at the actors, whatever makes your heart happy. And that's my ratings for the show.
Yay.
Also, just Eric Bergen gets his own thing because I love him.
Good.
I don't know what scale, but he gets his own thing, so yes, that's that.
Yay.
So this has been Let's Put On a Show. I'm Sabra.
I'm Lane.
And let's go break some legs. I mean, we're not going to do it for you. We don't want to get caught.
No.
Hey, it's Rob with the back matter. Thought I wasn't going to be in this one, didn't you? Anyway, Let's Put On a Show is a production of Blood and Thunder Publications, all rights reserved. Our music is Ragamama by Purple Planet Music. And this sounds good. I didn't see the show, clearly. I didn't go on the tour. But anyway, keep your ears open for more from the Let's Put On a Show Who Let Us Adult tour. It's pretty good. It's going to be less of me. And when there's more of me, it will be me who has not seen the show, so I'll just randomly say things like structural issues and tone problems so that my presence is maintained. Anyway, have a good day, everyone.